Hi, I'm King 5 meteorologist Rich Merritt, and this is King 5 Plus weather. And, well, we had a pretty good afternoon yesterday. We did have some clouds around in spots yesterday morning. The sun came out most places, and, well, out of the airport, we got up to 69 degrees, just a degree below normal, and that was pretty typical of what we saw around the Sound. They did hit 70, and Olympia made their normal high temperature as a result of that, but most places were in the upper 60s to just over 70 degrees, so pretty nice day overall, especially compared back to when we had 90 at the airport back on Sunday. Take a look out this morning, kind of a different picture. We did get a good push of marine air overnight. That's given us low clouds pretty much over the entire Sound. You can see there on our Port Anderson tower cam, it is pretty cloudy there, and that's pretty much a gray start today just about everywhere up and down the Sound. But we should see the sun coming back out again this afternoon. Looking out from Everett, the foreground has changed, but pretty much the skies we're looking at looking very similar, and that's pretty much the story all the way through. You can see there in Tacoma, we've got some light southerly winds, a lot of clouds. We've seen some bright spots in the overcast, but by the time we hit this afternoon, we should start to see more bright spots and should gradually clear out to some sunshine just about everywhere. Out along the coast there, you can see they've got a pretty good deck of clouds there, and they've seen a little bit of mist out there along the coast being squeezed out of the clouds. Not unusual at all, but we're going to see even a little bit of clearing there as we head towards late afternoon today. Take a look at those temperatures. You can see there we're running mostly in mid-morning in the low to mid-50s, and for some places not going to go up too much above that, but most places in the Central Sound are going to make it up probably into the mid to upper 60s today, and some of the warmest spots might actually touch that 70-degree point. Take a look at our pollen count from Northwest Asthma and Allergy. It was very high for grasses on Monday with all that heat and the sunshine, but it has dropped off this week, which is good news for allergy sufferers, especially ones that are sensitive to grasses, but moderate for trees, grasses, and weeds, and we'll look for the cool temperatures to keep those pollen counts down here for the next couple of days as we continue our countdown to summer. Just 8 more days until we reach summer, so a week from tomorrow it's going to be officially summer, though this weekend we're going to recover a lot, and we could see some mid-70s for Father's Day, so it'll feel like summer is perhaps arriving a little early. Take a look at our First Alert 7-day forecast. You can see a couple of cooler days, and then we warm up a little bit over the weekend, not as much as we did last weekend. Father's Day looks to be the warmest day of the next 7, and then we cool a little bit Monday, and then it looks like we're going to be brushed by a couple of systems as we head towards midweek that may give us a few showers, though any quantities out of this are going to be very light, it looks like. Checking the satellite image, not a whole lot to look at in the visible. You just see a lot of clouds over western Washington. There is a big low out in the Gulf, but it's just rotating through weak systems that are going primarily through British Columbia, just brushing by. We did actually see a few showers near the Canadian border over in central and eastern Washington earlier today, and that's just from a passing system. And you might see one up near the Canadian border on the west side of the Cascades today as well, but it'll only be a sprinkle, and that's going to disappear pretty quickly. And it looks like we'll continue in this pattern through tomorrow before we start to see a little bit of high pressure start to push its way in here. Take a look at our forecast temperatures today for up in the northern counties. Looking mostly at 60s, the low to mid 60s out near the water, and as usual as you get inland, might see a few upper 60s to near 70 degrees. You get in closer to the North Cascades. Dropping down there towards Snohomish County, mostly in the mid 60s there, some low 60s out towards Whidbey Island. Around King County, a little bit warmer in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees, but certainly down a lot from what we saw earlier in the week. South Sound, and you can see there and out to the southeast of I-5, looking for upper 60s and low 70s most places. Out towards the coast, only looking for mid to upper 50s out along the ocean beaches themselves, and down that I-5 corridor down towards Portland, looking at upper 60s to right around 70 degrees, pretty close to where a normal high should be for this time of the year. And over on the Olympic Peninsula, those mid 50s along the coast, and then some low 60s as you move a little farther inland, some upper 60s as you get onto the east slopes of the Olympics. And checking eastern Washington, they've actually cooled down a little bit. They're still going to get fairly warm today, getting into the upper 70s to low to mid 80s, but down from those triple digits earlier. And they are also going to have some very gusty winds. That onshore wind here on the west side of the Cascades goes up over the Cascade crest and then kind of spills over, and that's going to give them really gusty winds, which they normally do get there around the Ellensburg area, but they could see those gusty winds pretty much through the day today. Take a look at the mountains. You can see looking out there from Hurricane Ridge camera, pretty good looking day. You can see the marine deck has filtered into some of the canyons there around the Olympics. That's the top of the marine deck rather than the bottom we're looking at for most of our tower cams. So once you get a little elevation and get up there at Hurricane, you can have some nice weather today. Do a little bit of hiking. Similarly there in Paradise in the Cascades, you can see the sun's out there. A lot of people out enjoying that sun and getting up on those trails. And a pretty nice day overall. We'll look for partly sunny skies up in the mountains. Temperatures today getting up, right around the low 60s for the highs at the highway pass level, so 3,000 to 4,000 feet. So a lot of trailheads in that range. Should be a pretty good day to be on the trail. Overall, though, for today, the clouds will be around this morning. It'll turn partly to mostly sunny this afternoon. Pretty much a repeat for Friday, and those high temperatures getting into the mid 60s to right around 70 degrees. Does look like our onshore winds will weaken, though, as we head towards the weekend, and we'll be looking for the temperatures on Saturday to get up into the upper 60s and low 70s. As we head towards Sunday itself for Father's Day, looking pretty good. It looks like it's going to be mostly in the 70s. We could have some mid to upper 70s in some of the warmer spots. We're going to cool just a little bit as we head into Monday, and then as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be brushed by one of those systems moving through BC. That is going to give us a chance of a few showers, still mixed with a little bit of sunshine. Cool us back a little bit, but still staying right around normal in the upper 60s and low 70s. Checking that 6 to 10 day temperature forecast, you can see we stay in that range of the upper 60s and low 70s all the way through the first few days of summer, which arrives officially, recall, on the 20th. Have a great afternoon.